Welcome to this edition of Literary Reviews. My name is Heather Jones, and today we are reviewing Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Thanks, Larry. The novella by Robert Louis Stevenson begins in the fog-bound streets of Victorian London. Mr. Gabriel John Utterson, a lawyer of rugged countenance and reserved demeanor, finds himself entangled in a dark mystery involving his friend, the respectable Dr. Henry Jekyll. The narrative begins on a Sunday walk with his cousin, Mr. Enfield, who points out a sinister, blistered door in a by-street. Enfield recounts a disturbing tale associated with it. Late one night, he witnessed a small, grotesque man trample a young lady with calm cruelty. The man, identified as Edward Hyde, bought the crowd's silence with a check signed by none other than the upright Dr. Henry Jekyll.
Utterson, I'm telling you, man, this fellow was a bloody freakazoid. He stomped her outright.
Troubled by this connection, Utterson returns home to review Jekyll's will, which he currently holds. The document contains a peculiar clause stating that in the event of Jekyll's death or unexplained disappearance, all his possessions are to pass to Edward Hyde. Utterson, fearing that Hyde is blackmailing the doctor for some youthful indiscretion, decides to stake out the mysterious door. When he finally encounters Hyde, he is repulsed by the man's physical appearance. Hyde seems deformed without any specific malformation, radiating an aura of palpable evil. When Utterson confronts Jekyll about this new associate, the doctor turns pale and pleads for the lawyer to let the matter rest, insisting that he can be rid of Hyde whenever he chooses.
You are my lawyer, Utterson, and you should trust me. Hyde is not secretly controlling me. If he were, I'd tell you.
A year passes, and the uneasy peace is shattered by a brutal crime. A maidservant witnesses Hyde beating an elderly gentleman, Sir Danvers Carew, to death with a heavy cane. The cane is found to be one Utterson had gifted to Jekyll years prior. Utterson leads the police to Hyde's residence in Soho, a dismal district shrouded in fog, but the murderer has vanished.
This is the home of Dr. Henry Jekyll, and this area is where your suspect was seen. Because of my A-level score, my school counsellor insisted I become a solicitor, but I always wanted to become a bobby. You fellows have the whistles, the cool hats, and the nightsticks, while solicitors have to do a lot of reading.
Utterson visits Jekyll, finding the doctor looking deathly ill and secluded in his laboratory. Jekyll swears he is finished with Hyde forever and produces a letter, allegedly from Hyde, stating that he has escaped. However, Utterson's head clerk, Mr. Guest, a handwriting expert, notices a startling similarity between Hyde's script and Jekyll's own. They are identical, merely slanted in different directions. Utterson is horrified by the implication that Jekyll has forged a letter to cover for a murderer.
Yes, for those of you who noticed, I shaved my beard. This whole issue with Jekyll engaging in some sort of cover-up has me concerned. Since I haven't reported what I know to the police, I am complicit. For that reason, I must raise my fees. After all, I'm a lawyer, not a saint.
For a brief time, Jekyll returns to society, hosting dinners and engaging in charity. But abruptly, he shuts his doors again, refusing to see anyone. Utterson visits Dr. Lanyon, a mutual friend and scientific rival of Jekyll's, only to find Lanyon on his deathbed, visibly shaken by some profound psychological terror. Lanyon dies soon after, leaving a letter for Utterson with instructions not to open it until the death or disappearance of Dr. Jekyll. The mystery deepens when Utterson and Enfield, on another Sunday walk, see Jekyll at his window. They converse briefly until a look of abject terror seizes Jekyll's face, and he violently slams the window shut, leaving the two men trembling below.
I must say, that was rather odd.
Do you think it might have been a matter of bowel urgency?
Weeks later, Jekyll's butler, Poole, visits Utterson in a state of panic. He claims the person locked in the laboratory is not his master. Utterson rushes to the house. Outside the cabinet door, he hears a voice that is distinctly not Jekyll's pacing and weeping. Believing Jekyll has been murdered, Utterson and Poole break down the door with an axe.
If there is a chance he is still alive, we must enter quickly. Give it your best Jack Torrance impersonation.
Inside, they find the body of Edward Hyde, dressed in clothes far too large for him, dead by self-administered poison. Dr. Jekyll is nowhere to be found. Utterson finds a new will naming himself the heir and a large packet of papers. He goes home to read the documents, starting with Lanyon's letter. Lanyon reveals that Hyde had come to him one night, desperate for a specific chemical salt. In Lanyon's presence, Hyde mixed a potion, drank it, and transformed into Henry Jekyll before the doctor's eyes. The shock of this unnatural metamorphosis caused Lanyon's fatal decline.
This is in conflict with everything I've learned about science. It seems aspects of metaphysics should be considered plausible.
The final narrative is Jekyll's full confession that he had long led a double life, suppressing his darker urges to maintain his social standing. Driven by scientific curiosity, he created a potion to separate the two natures of man, good and evil.
Dead! Run!
No!
Come on, run!
No!
When he drank it, he became Edward Hyde, a creature of pure, uninhibited instinct and malice. Initially, Jekyll enjoyed the freedom of being Hyde, indulging in vices without risking his reputation. But the transformation became an addiction. Eventually, Hyde grew stronger, and Jekyll began turning into him involuntarily without the potion. The murder of Carew was an act of Hyde's suppressed rage being unleashed after months of cage-like confinement within Jekyll.
This place is great. My contemporaries don't know about it. La vida loca and laissez les bons temps rouler.
In the end, the supply of a crucial, impure salt needed for the potion ran out. Jekyll could no longer reverse the change. Trapped in the form of the hunted murderer Hyde, and knowing the end was near, the last remnants of Henry Jekyll wrote his confession before Hyde. In a final act of despair or self-preservation against the gallows, took his own life. Thank you for joining us with this edition of Literary Reviews.